Our next guest needs no introduction. The senior senator from the great Commonwealth of Massachusetts, former law professor, 2020 presidential candidate, and now she is adding children's book author to her very large resume.
And we are so excited to have Senator Elizabeth Warren here in our GMA3 studio with us. We were just talking, this is your first trip back to New York, entire pandemic.
Exactly, and I can't think of a better way to come back. I'm serious. I'm so excited to be here to talk about Pinkie Promises.
Well, we are excited to have you here. A lot going on with the book, and we're going to make it all tie into what's going on in Washington as well. Now, oh my goodness, you rolled the eyes already. A lot's happening. So I don't want you to criticize President Biden. I don't even want you to advise him, but you wanted to be president at some point. Under these same set of circumstances, what do you see and think, wow, President Warren, if I was in there, I would what?
You know, I see it this way. He is fighting for the things we fight for, excuse me, as Democrats. We're in there in the fight for universal child care, universal pre-K, home and community-based care, expanding health care, and taking a big whack in the fight on climate change. And that's what we should be fighting for. Now, everybody brings their own special sauce to how they wage that fight, and different ways that we try to persuade everyone to go in the same direction. But I like what we're doing, and I believe in what we're doing, and I want us to get it done. I want all of us to get it done. It's an investment in America's future, and we need to make the billionaires and the giant corporations pay for it. So there.
And I'm sure in large part you're speaking to these two bills that are just hanging in the balance. And there is a lot of, let's just call it negotiating back and forth going on among Democrats, the infrastructure bill, of course, and the reconciliation bill. How hopeful are you that these will both pass?
I'm very hopeful. I'm not at 100%. You know, there's always that really scary part at the edges. And I'll tell you why I'm hopeful. Because we know how much we need it. This is like one of those where it's the urgency of how desperately we need to get this done. Everything in these packages are things the American people have told us they want. And I'm not just talking about the Democrat American people. I'm talking about all American people. Want to see us make those investments in child care, want to see us expand Medicare coverage, and want to see us have negotiations on drug prices, and want to see us make a serious move against climate change. Look, part of what's happened is it's been a hard discussion to have because there's so darn many parts to it, and the numbers sound really big. But the reason there's so darn many parts to it and the numbers are so big is because we have done so little in these areas for so long. America is so far behind every other wealthy nation in the world. We come in like 34th in the investment we make in our children, providing child care. Millions of women pushed out of the workforce, as you know, a couple of years ago. And now 1 out of 4 women who's not in the workforce says, I can't go back because I can't find child care. Other nations have made that investment. That gives them a comparative advantage economically. It's time for America to step up and do it as well.
And you talk about being in the fight. Talk about the joy of being in the fight sometimes. It's part of what your book is here. And you know what? How do you explain, how do you, through the book as well, talk about the joy of just being in the fight? Because sometimes the fights in Washington, for example, sometimes the fight itself isn't so joyous. It can be ugly, but there should be joy in just being in it.
I'm so glad you really pick up on that in the book, because, you know, the book is about a little girl who's told all the things girls can't do. That happens in the first few pages. Then she meets somebody who's running for president. They talk about what girls can do and make a pinky promise to remember. And from there on out through the book, it's the things the little girl tries. And you notice she doesn't have to actually succeed. We don't know if she actually gets the soccer ball into the goal. We don't know if she actually finds the lost dog. We don't know if she actually wins the class presidency. But what we know is the joy of getting in the fight and what that means. And that's for me, I guess, what I learned over a lifetime, but also over running for president. I ran for president, I lost, but ask me how sorry I am that I ran. And the answer is not one bit. For 14 months, I got up every day and talked about the things I really believe in, like childcare and climate change. In the fight, that's what matters.
I love that. And this book, the name of it, Pinkie Promises, is something that you actually were doing along the campaign trail with young girls, and that's what sparked the idea for the book, correct?
Absolutely. This is in honor of every Pinkie Promise, which is thousands and thousands and thousands of little girls, but I should add, big girls, senior girls, a few dogs along the way, some brothers. We did oh, listen, there was a pug when we did our Pinkie Promises. I'm telling you, slobber on the fingers, the whole thing. But that's because the dog was really into it. That's what made it fun, is we remember the things we can do.
Well, Senator Warren, have you made a Pinkie Promise with anybody in Congress?
Actually, I have.
Do tell.
But Pinkie Promises are private.
Okay.
Yeah. But we're working on them.
All right.
We're working on them.
Senator Warren, it is really good to welcome you back to New York.
Thank
you
you.
haven't been here in quite some time. It's good to have you here and hope to get you back here in studio with us. Really, it's a pleasure.
Bet. It's so good to be with you.
And we want folks to know, Pinkie Promises, that's the name of the book. It's available now wherever books are sold.
Thank you very much, Senator Warren.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.